Hello and welcome back to the Odds Shopper YouTube channel. I'm Isaiah. I'm here to break down this weekend's NASCAR action at Watkins Glen International. So I know that I've been away from this channel for a couple of weeks. I've been busy moving. I had to move a couple blocks down in Nashville, but that's a pretty big move still. But I have a much better setup, and I'm ready to get back into NASCAR betting and putting these VODs up on the channel. The bets have still been going out on our Discord. I just haven't been able to get the videos produced because, I mean, if you're moving, what the hell are you going to use as a background? So it was tough, but we're all set to go now, and you'll see me for the rest of the season. Cool. So we have a lot to go over. Obviously, we've got our race preview, we've got our sponsors, and we've got our bets to discuss. So let's jump right into it. So this is the Go Bowling at the Glen. It's one of the funnier names in racing, considering, you can't actually go bowling at the Glen, but whatever. So we're at Watkins Glen, which is a 2.5-mile road course. It's also a FIA Grade 2 track. And fun fact, there are only 2 FIA Grade 1 tracks in the U.S., and we were at one of them last week in the Indy Road Course. Circuit of the Americas, it's the other FIA Grade 1 track. However, despite Watkins Glen falling down to a FIA Grade 2 track, it used to host the U.S. Grand Prix. So it is a historic venue for sure. It might have more value for 90s F1 fans and obviously NASCAR fans than some other tracks. So we have plenty of road course intel at this point in the season too. Obviously, we had Indy last week, and we had COTA earlier in the year. We had Sonoma, we had Chicago Street. So that's 4 data points to use here. That's more than enough data to make a good pick. Unfortunately, that also means it's more than enough data to set some good odds. So that's a little tough. But Hendrick, the other note that I have for this track, though, is that Hendrick Motorsports, right? Hendrick has absolutely dominated at Watkins Glen in the recent past. Chase Elliott won in 2018 and 2019. Kyle Larson in 2021 and 2022. No, there wasn't some non-Hendrick driver winning in 2020. The race just didn't happen then. So they've actually won the last 4 races, even though it stretches back more than 4 years. So, yeah, they're pretty good here, I think. So let's pull up the odds board. And unsurprisingly, you will see Hendrick Motorsports drivers, Chase Elliott plus 275, Kyle Larson plus 475. Yeah, that's a pretty short price for the top 2 Hendrick Motorsports guys. But here's the thing. While I like both of them in this race, I do not think that those are good numbers to pay. Instead, we're going to be flipping to the manufacturer market, and we're going to look at Chevrolet to win the race at minus 115. Now, I know that that's not great odds, but if you think about it, it makes plenty of sense. Chevrolet is more than half the field, and they also control the top 2 favorites on the betting markets and several of my favorite lower, less value drivers. So we've been attacking the manufacturer markets lately in this channel. I prefer them at this point because of the lower hold than on the standard outright markets. As you can tell, there's a lot of hold on that this week, especially at Caesars. We're trusting Hendrick Motorsports and the Chevrolet teams because of their solid runs at these tracks of late, and because Michael McDowell put several of them in winner-go-home territory, including Elliott, the favorite. So while Chevrolet as a manufacturer is only minus 115, which converts to like 54.5%, you're getting access to, and this is based on numbers earlier in the week, those odds looked shorter than they were, so to be honest, I think that this is actually going to be higher. So we have Chase Elliott at 23.5%, Kyle Larson at 16.7%. Daniel Suarez, who almost won last week, has won road courses as of last season in the next-gen car at 9.1%, and AJ Allmendinger at 7.7%. Three of those 4 drivers, not all of them, but 3 of those 4 drivers are basically in winner-go-home situations after McDowell's win in Indy as well. So they're going to be making aggressive late-race strategy calls to try and win, while some of the other field, like Brad Keselowski of late, will probably be making plays to get more stage points, compromising their actual finish, but hoping that they can, build up enough points such that they maintain their position in the standings. Keselowski's got to start sweating a little bit, especially because he could get knocked out if enough people manage to win the races, because he's only in on points right now. So that could get interesting. So our first pick, we're going to back the trends here. Chevrolet's been good. Chevrolet's going to stay good. Back Chevrolet to win. Before we get into our final pick, I know it's a shorter video this week, but that's, because I'm moving, so please forgive me. I'm going to do our ad read. So BetMGM and Insider Access at OddsShopper. So if you haven't signed up for BetMGM, that's great. When you sign up via the link below and you place your first bet there, you can get 2 free months of OddsShopper Insider Access. Now, what is OddsShopper Insider Access? Well, it is the only way to get access to my full NASCAR betting cards. You get access to live bets. You get access to bets before I post the articles online or before the videos get uploaded. So if you were a member of Insider Access, you saw me post this bet, I think, on Tuesday. It was pretty early in the week. So we've had action on Chevrolet since the beginning. I think the numbers moved a little bit, but fortunately, it hasn't moved at Caesars yet. So we're still getting the best possible deal over there. You also get like live betting advice. You get Q&As. You get to sweat out bets with us. It's a blast. But if you have signed up for BetMGM already, there's an alternative deal for you. If you sign up using code ISInsider, those are my initials, ISInsider, when you're signing up, you can get your first week of Insider Access for half off. Then it's just $19.95 afterwards. So I think Insider Access is great. You pay for some picks, but the service pays for itself because we're all profitable bettors, and you get to hang out with some cool people. It's a blast. Strongly recommend you check it out. All right, so our last pick is actually going to be a matchup bet. Now, we've been doing pretty well on these props of late, so we're going to hope to ride that momentum forward. I think, oh yeah, because these are all futures bets, and yet the matchup bets are under the schedule tab because Caesars has organized their stuff in quite an interesting way. So we're looking at the first one on the board. We're looking at Austin Cindric versus Chase Briscoe. Now, I don't think that this is a good matchup. I think this is a bad market, and I think the odds of Briscoe or the odds of Cindric at minus 140 are honestly not nearly short enough. Like this matchup, first of all, should not be something the books are taking action on, but for some reason they pit these two drivers against each other, and let's take advantage of that mistake. So why are we backing Austin Cindric against Chase Briscoe? Well, if you look at the last 10 road course races dating back to last season, Cindric is 8-2 against Briscoe. 8-2, 80%. That's pretty impressive. Further, we don't have to worry about some kind of like manufacturer advantages or team equipment disparity stuff. That's all in our favor, right? These are two Ford drivers. Now, Fords have been relatively slow. I mean, they've been winning races lately, but they've been doing so in kind of weird ways. It still feels like Ford is the slowest manufacturer on any given Sunday. So it's a little risky to get action on Fords on an outright market, but because it's a Ford versus Ford, it's not a big deal. We're also getting the team-based equipment advantage because, let's be honest, Team Penske is a better team than Stewart-Haas Racing. They've been more consistent all year. They've had higher upside speed runs. I know that, Stewart-Haas Racing has looked good at some tracks like Martinsville. I don't think that what they've shown this year will translate especially well to Watkins Glen this weekend. So I'm trusting Cindric, who has, again, finished ahead of Briscoe 8 times in the last 10 road course races, and yet we can get him odds of minus 140, which the implied odds of that are far worse than the win rate. So we're getting a solid amount of value by backing Cindric on this market. I mean, I might be biased as a Team Penske fan, but I really don't understand why these two drivers are matched up against each other. Cindric is a clear, better driver on road courses. Briscoe is solid. His team is much worse. So he's both less talented at these venues and in a worse car. So, yeah, give me Austin Cindric. All right, let me pull this odds board out of here. We don't have a whole lot to recap this week. We're taking Chevy at minus 115. I assume that after qualifying, it's probably going to go down to like minus 125, minus 120-ish. So you probably want to get action on that at Caesars as soon as you can. We're taking Cindric against Briscoe at odds of minus 140. I think that's a solid play. I just elaborated a lot on that, but I really, genuinely, sincerely do not understand why these two drivers are pit against each other. This seems like a pretty bad spot. I don't get why Caesars did that, but whatever. Cool. Let's take advantage. That's going to do it for this week's video. Please like and subscribe if you found this content useful, and especially if I make you some money. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you back here next week.